The Turnaway study found that 96% of women who gave birth after being denied an abortion no longer wished they'd aborted. Sometimes when I point out that stat, people want to know about the 4% who continued to wish they had aborted. The study talks about different factors that seem to relate to whether women still wish they had aborted or not. For example, women who had more social support were a lot less likely to say they still wish they'd had an abortion. But importantly, women who placed their children for adoption were significantly more likely to continue wishing they had aborted instead. I want pro-life people in particular to know about that statistic. For some people in circumstances, adoption is the best option, and I'm definitely not saying we should never discuss adoption. But I think the pro-life movement in general has been too casual and too quick to bring up adoption when pregnant women talk about their fears and concerns over their pregnancy and over taking care of this child. I was reminded of this again very recently when I was listening to a Support After Abortion webinar. Support After Abortion tries to support people after they've had their abortion, and one of the many services they provide is training to other organizations and people who are trying to provide either formal counseling or other resources to people struggling after they've had an abortion. Part of that training is a monthly webinar, which is accessible online. You can register for it in advance, or you can listen to it after the fact. They put all the recordings on their website right here. In their May 2023 webinar, they featured Brittany Palladino from Abiding Love Adoptions. Abiding Love Adoptions specifically prioritizes and focuses on birth mothers, what they need, if they're comfortable with this process, that sort of thing. And Brittany talked about some of the ways that well-meaning pro-lifers have problematic messaging. For example, we've all seen those signs that have the word abortion and they cross out the letters to say adoption. You've also seen the pictures of people outside of clinics holding signs that say, "We will adopt your baby." These may be well-intentioned, but Palladino points out that they don't reflect the difficulty or complexity or often the trauma of adoption. And when we are glib about this, it says to the women who are in this situation where they might consider adoption that we do not understand where they are coming from, how they feel, and maybe we don't even care. Palladino also pointed out that women who go through a traumatic adoption process are more likely to be abortion-minded if they get pregnant in the future because they don't want to go through that trauma again. So I'm not saying adoption is never the solution, but it shouldn't be our first response to women having difficulties, and it shouldn't be something that we suggest casually.